going to be talking about the laws, crimes, and punishments in North Korea.
Oh my god! Get over here! How dare you!
We just witnessed someone getting arrested. Now let's see what she got arrested for. Most crimes in North Korea are punishable by concentration camps or death. Most of these crimes are illegal smuggling, vandalization of government property, or watching illegal material. Surprisingly, in North Korea, weed is legal and you can even find it growing on the side of the roads. In fact, some soldiers actually prefer it over local cigarettes. There are many beautiful lakes in North Korea, such as Heaven Lake. The reason the water and air is so clear is because North Korea has one of the lowest air pollution rates in the world, at a staggering 20%, with South Korea at 50% and America at 60%. This keeps the air clear. And only the rich use electricity all day. Most people barely use it for less than 12 hours, and 71% of that electricity is hydropowered. North Korea is also home to the Rungado 1st of May Stadium, containing a capacity of 114,000 seats. It is considered the world's largest stadium. First, we have the Korean dynasties that went on from 4000 BCE to 1392. One of the most interesting dynasties is the Joseon dynasty, that was filled with corruption from overpaying taxpayers to royals not doing their jobs. Because of this, the population soon went poor and there was a mass famine. This caused people to eat bark, bugs, or even each other to survive. There are even stories of parents who have eaten their children's fingers or drinking their children's blood in order to get better. With the child's permission, of course. From the 1600s to 1850s, there were 2 centuries of peace. From 1910 to 1945, Korea was put under Japanese rule. It was a cruel reign where Koreans were often faced with overbearing taxes and in general discrimination. Then, in World War II, the Japanese offered good work to Chinese and Korean girls. But it was in Japan, and when the girls did make it there, they were often kidnapped and sold into human trafficking. Now, there is a little more on this topic, but I'm not sure if it's 100% true and I do not want to start controversy, so you can just pause the video to read it. From 1945 to 1948, the northern part of Korea was put under Soviet rule. Then in 1950, the Korean War took place. And blah blah blah, 3 years passed, and Korea got separated in 2. Not that long after the war, North Korea was faced with an extreme famine that wiped out around 10% of the entire population. This went on from 1994 to 1998. Just before the famine started, Kim Il-sung died, leaving his son Kim Jong-il in charge. Then in 2011, our current supreme leader, Kim Jong-un, rose. Surprise. Now, he has done some good and some bad for the country. He's legalized plastic surgery and made cosmetics for the country, but it's also rumored he killed off many government officials and even assassinated his brother for wanting to go to Disneyland. Gee, tough sibling rivalry. The 2 Koreas have now worked together to get Russia and China to sign the peace treaty. The 2 Koreas even united as one during the Pyeongchang 2018 Winter Olympics. I might be a little over-optimistic about North Korea, but please, if you disagree, don't be too mad. North Korea is also said to be having one of the worst droughts in 39 years, which is great. But North Korea is definitely better now than it was before. Next up, we have North Korean culture. Now, North Korean and South Korean cultures are practically the same. In fact, one of these images was labeled as a Korean hanbok. Now, there is one major difference I did find, that the North Korean supreme leaders are seen as gods. Or a better phrase, just way above the average human being. I will get a little more onto this topic later in the video. Now, North Korean and South Korean cultures are just basically the same. But North Korea is much better at preserving its culture than South Korea is. Seriously, this is what South Korea is known for. Disappointing. But it's better than being known for bad leaders and starving children. Speaking of that, let's move on to the next topic. Public view on North Korea. Yay. Thoughts on North Korea?
Don't really know that much. It's a country.
Well, when you first hear the word North Korea, what do you think of?
Kim Jong-un.
What are your thoughts on North Korea?
They're scary.
Anything else?
Their dictator is a madman.
What do you think of when you first hear the words North Korea?
People getting abused and poor people, I guess.
Now, it's obvious to see that most people see North Korea for its bad leaders, abuse, and human rights violations. And there are many stories of defectors and people escaping North Korea telling their story that prove this right, and it has gotten a lot of controversy. But let's move on to another story. This is Oh Chung-sung. He's a famous defector who ran across the North Korean and South Korean border, getting shot 5 times. The shooters were arrested for shooting across the border, which is against protocol. Oh Chung-sung had a 5-hour surgery to remove all 5 bullets from his body. While removing the bullets, the doctors had to puncture a hole into his abdomen in order to get one of the bullets out. While they were searching through his intestines, they found parasites. It was hard to remove the parasites, and some of them were even up to 27 centimeters long. Everything was stained with blood, but the parasite was basically a really white color, and this thick, big, long, and very, very hard. This kind of thing was getting out of his bowel system. Quoted from Dr. Lee, the main surgeon during Oh Chung-sung's surgery. Now, it's obvious to tell that North Korea isn't the best place to live. But what my opinion in what is crueler is adding offense to a situation. This is often stuff like making fun of someone for having the same or similar name to someone who's a dictator, or of being of the same race. If you do this, stop. Small jokes are fine. Adding light to a situation is fine. Offense comedy isn't. Learn the difference, please. Moving on from that, now we have education. North Korea has a 99.9% literacy rate, which is far higher than the American 89% literacy rate. I'm not sure why the country is so kept on keeping its citizens literate. North Korea has a Soviet-style school system where attendance is mandatory. North Korea claims to have free healthcare and free education. But other sources claim that students have to pay for the chairs they use, the tables they use, and heating systems. North Korea's power. North Korea is quite talented in the making of bombs, rockets, satellites, and their military system. Materials. North Korea has a lot of fluorite, which is often used for making camera lenses, telescopes, and microscopes. North Korea is also very abundant in zinc and magnesium. North Korean economy. 90% of North Korea's income comes from importing to China. North Korea is also strangely good at forging American dollars. Is North Korea misunderstood? I don't want people to think that I'm saying that North Korea is a good place. It's not. But I think every country has its charms and flaws, and a country shouldn't be seen for executions, concentration camps, and bad government. Every country should be seen for what it is.